Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another DME, this time working on a 2011 Mini Cooper ALL4 with an N18 engine. The customer said they tried to start the vehicle with no wheel cover, ground connected, and since then no fiber reference, which is very common. All right, so let's see if we can reproduce the concern. I have the computer, as you see, ready connected in here. It's not powered on yet. I have his note in here, which I'm going to read. His name is Matthew Hagen from Montana. And I have the VIN number, which should end in 99970. All right, so let me move you over here. And as you see, I have the tab done, ready to go. But again, you see it's not powered on. I'm going to, well, turn my power supply on, which was off. And let's get the scanner on the view and also the meter, which is going to tell you when I power on, if we have any voltage on the power supply. I have now the meter connected into ground 1 for sensors and fiber reference 1. All right, so this is now ready to be turned on. And let's see if we get power or not. All right, so now the BCI for the LTL just got power because it was, I made a mistake, cancel. Ferrari. Well, we got 5 volts in there, so we'll see if we can communicate. Let's wait for the scanner to actually beep and communicate and see if we read the VIN number or not. Yep. Okay, we got the VIN number 99970, so we do have communication. All right, so let's enter the vehicle. This is a Mini Cooper. Okay, let's click on OK. I have actually put a video where you can see how you need to test in the vehicle to find out if the problem is in the computer or if you have a short harness, which is very important. But you know, having communication and having one of the fiber references still doesn't tell me the computer is completely good. I have to check all of them. And there are 3 different fiber references on this computer. We will be checking them all. We can definitely connect to 2 of them with this same rig that I have here. And if those says is good, I will have to connect another wire and on the next connector. But those are easy and quick to do. I have everything pretty much ready for that, so we'll see. I want to see what faults we have because he sent me no information as far as that. The only sorry guys, the only thing that I have, it says try to start without the back cover ground attached. Let me see if I have an email from him. Still trying to communicate, so we got time. Oh, I got time. Customers info right here. 2011 Mini Cooper. Oh, right here. I'm just having in the meantime information for myself that I always, you know, take pictures of the computer connected and everything for my records and for the customer. But what was I looking for? Oh yeah, an email from him. And his email, let's see if I have anything. Nope. I have not received an email from him, at least not in the regular way. Let me go over to my website. 1 second. Okay, we need to enter the DME. And let me go over to Wix to see if I have anything from him. Nope. So yeah, I am not sure. Probably he called me and he did not contact me. That's what I always like to, if it's possible, guys, please send me an email that we can establish communication. Send me the concerns and everything, because it's very hard to keep up with everybody calling me, and I do write the notes, but it's hard to keep up. So please help me a little bit in there. I try to do as best as possible to collect the data when you call me, but that's what the form is in here for. So if you add the note, please add all your concerns and everything in there, all the tests that you think that might help me help you, because at the end, the one is being helped is you. All right, so let's enter the trouble codes. And it has, it does have the 0036E2 monitoring 5-volt sensor supply voltage out of valid range. But as you see in there, it shows as absent. The ones that are present are normal because they're not even connected. So yeah, we can see Matthew in there and all of you that the monitoring 5-volt reference supply was out of range and is absent. So, all right, let me connect to the other 5-volt reference and see what we see. Keep you in there. By the way, I'm in connector X6004, and that is the first one of the big ones on the right side. So in this computer, we have a big connector, and a small connector. So a small connector on one end, big connector on the other end. The one I'm connecting is the big connector on the one end. And I'm in pin 46, 5-volt reference 1, and then pin 44, ground 1. So I'm going to move this to pin 20, which is the other 5-volt reference. And as you see, we have 5-volt reference in there. I'm going to remove it so you can see the meter going to millivolts. Right now, what you see in there is millivolts. I'm going to connect it to that 5-volt reference, and we get the 5-volt reference immediately. Let me check the other sensor ground. Since the other sensor ground in this connector is pin 47, at least the ones I'm using. And yeah, those are good. So let me look for the other ground 5-volt reference, and I'll be right back to get it in the view for you guys. All right, guys, I have connected now the wire on my multimeter onto the third 5-volt reference, which is on the last connector on pin 33. That is the last 5-volt reference, and as you can see, it's reading 5 volts. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with the 5-volt reference on this computer. Not sure I'm gonna have to contact them and see exactly what is his problem, because this is definitely not looking at a problem in the computer. Before I do that, I want to show you how I found the information and everything that I have done, so you can understand that is definitely the correct information. So let me move you here. And here what I have is the connectors on the computer. As I explained you, the X6004, which is the first big connector, where I have the computer connected right now with all the wires. Then the second connector could either be X60, 231, or 211. It all depends on N18, N14, or N18, like in this case. On the N18 is 231, if I remember. And then the last one, which is a smaller connector, is connector X60232. All right, so I have the 5-volt reference right here. This is specifically for the N16. What happened? This document is trying to connect to cancel. Yeah, it didn't want to connect to anything. Yeah, like that you can see. So first, all these sensors in here, all these 5 sensors are connected to the 5-volt reference 1. But it's pretty easy for me to check, because if we see right here, yeah, you can probably see my hand. Let me see if I can get yeah, I can actually do it. And that I'm going to use this as a mouse. So all these are 5-volt reference 1. This pin 46, which is the one I used for the first test, is in connector X604. That is for the accelerator pedal module. That's what I always recommend, to go into that sensor, remove the accelerator pedal, and do the test in there. Because then you can isolate and test everything very quickly. The next pin that I usually use, again, is on the accelerator pedal module, and it's pin 20. That's the 5-volt reference 2 I have, as I have it here, right? So all these 5 sensors, or 6 sensors, sorry, will be connected to that same 5-volt reference. So if any of these 6 sensors is shorted, it can bring down the 5-volt reference, and then you will not be able to see it, but you will need to unplug one at a time, so you find out which one is the one that's taking it down. The next one, and it's a very isolated one, only one 5-volt reference 3 is connected to the Valtronic servo motor on pin 33, the one I just told you, and that's in connector X60232. So as you see, there is 5-volt reference on connector X60231, but we don't need to go there because we have 5-volt reference to on the X6004, and those are the pins that I show you that I did the test. All right, I think that's very easy to explain. I'm going to get a closer look in here. So what I have recommend always is in the vehicle, you need to either use a probe like this one. Let me see if the camera can, yeah, and connect it to your multimeter, and then go from the back of the, the connector from here and find the pins that you need to do the test. Or you go, and it's very easy, go over to the accelerator pedal, remove it, because, and the reason I start and I recommend to do that is because that is a very common sensor to give problems. It gets shorted, it gets damaged, and you're putting your feet in there, or your foot there, dirty water. When you take it over to the car wash, water can enter, then it can short the sensor. So that's the first one you need to do. So what you want to do is, and when you remove the accelerator pedal, or remove, don't unplug it, right? You're going to go into pin 3 and 5 in their mark. So you can even unplug it and read the pins if you want to, or sometimes the connector on the back has the pin outs. And then you're going to use the same needle pin with your multimeter lead. One of the leads, the black lead, connected to the battery negative, and the red lead, you're going to do the test to the pin 3 and pin 5, looking for the 5-volt reference. When you're there and you have no voltage or nothing that is close to 5 volts, what you need to do then is turn the ignition off, leave everything as you have it set up, turn the ignition off, remove the key from the car so it's in your pocket, and now you're going to come to the computer and you're going to unplug the small connector and the middle connector, but you're going to leave this one plugged in. When you unplugged this connector, we're pretty much removing the entire vehicle except for those two sensors, or those two wires that are going for the accelerator pedal. Now we're going to go back with the multimeter. You leave the multimeter connected as the accelerator pedal, either pin 3 or pin 5, and now you're going to turn the ignition back on. If you turn the ignition back on and your multimeter now reads 5 volts, where the problem is, it's not on the computer, because it is wherever sensors are connected into these two connectors. But the problem is not in the computer. If you disconnect these two wires, these two connectors, and there's still no 5-volt reference, unplug the accelerator pedal. You can do it even with the ignition off. If you do it, cycle the key, ignition, and again, if you unplug the accelerator pedal and now the 5-volt reference is back, well, the problem was there. I would probably start that way first before you unplug these two. Go over to the accelerator pedal, right? Because that should be the correct sequence. Before disconnect the computer connectors, unplug the accelerator pedal and see if the 5-volt reference comes back. If it didn't come back, you can even leave it unplugged because it's not going to make any difference. One second, guys. This might be a customer. Sorry, guys. It was indeed a customer. So yeah, just follow the correct order of doing the test by starting on the accelerator pedal and unplugged it. Because that should have been the first recommendation by me. Because if you unplug that and the 5-volt reference comes back, well, then you know that you have an accelerator pedal that is bad. But then if it doesn't happen, then do the unplugging of the two connectors, come back to the accelerator pedal. If the 5-volt reference is still not there, even with all the sensors and those two connectors, well, then yes, your computer is at fault. Send it over and I will be able to help you. But as you can see here, I'm doing the exactly same test and we have all the 5-volt reference. He has definitely a monitoring sensor supply voltage out of value range, but it's absent. So what is this telling me? The problem is there in the car, not here. So Matthew, I'm sorry. Well, at least now you know that your computer is good. Hopefully you can use the same wire diagrams that I put in the, in the video. Just use the same thing and start unplugging one at a time. 1 second, guys. I'm waiting for the mailman, and I want to make sure that I can keep an eye on the camera on the front. But yeah, so I'm always trying to help you as much as I can, help others to diagnose even in your driveway. This is something you can do in 10 minutes. Realistically, super easy, super simple. All you need is a multimeter. Then you will know if the problem is in the car or if the problem is in the computer by yourself. If the problem is in the car, then you might want to take it over to a shop, because there are some of the sensors that are really hard to get, like the, you see the mailman is here, like the crankshaft position sensor and the fuel pressure sensor are the ones next that are very hard to get and very prone to fail. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.